TVS loses its licence but is considering legal action.
Meridian's chief executive tells us what he has to offer.
A heart patient can't have life-saving surgery because of cash cuts.
And why lessons about the countryside are under threat. Good evening. Not too good a day for us today. In a moment, more on today's news that TVS has lost its licence to broadcast to the south. But first, an assurance that Coast to Coast will continue as normal for the next 14 months.
Yes, we'll both still be here to carry on bringing you the very best possible news coverage for the region.
The new licence for the south was awarded to Meridian Broadcasting. They're due to take over in January 1993. But TVS has said it's considering asking for a judicial review of the decision. The company employs 800 people in the south and the southeast.
The Independent Television Commission said that TVS's programme plan passed their quality threshold, but the business plan didn't. TVS had bid £59 million for the licence, £20 million more than Meridian. Graham Bowd reports.
9:43 this morning and high noon for TVS as the outcome of its franchise bid arrived by fax. Senior executives were waiting for the news.
Meridian's got it.
The official announcement came a few minutes later from the ITC headquarters in London. It was shown live at the company's studios, but by then staff already knew the worst. After 9 years, the makers of such successful programmes as the Ruth Rendell Mysteries had lost their broadcast franchise for the South and South East. Licence applications for the 16 ITV regions went in last May, when the television companies lodged sealed bids. There were 3 applicants for the southern region which met the ITC's programme standards. A 4th failed the quality test. The TVS bid of nearly £60 million a year was by far the largest. The ITC clearly considered it was too big to leave enough funds for programmes.
It did not appear to the Commission that TVS would be able to maintain its proposed service through the licence period. Of the 2 remaining applicants, Carlton and Meridian, the latter had made the highest cash bid. Meridian is awarded the licence with a cash bid of £36.523 million.
Later, he was asked to explain why the TVS bid did not satisfy the Commission.
We're not prepared to go into what aspects of the confidential business plan which we are committed not to publishing. Not by us, we had to sign to say we wouldn't publish business plans. We're not prepared to comment on which aspects we were unhappy with. We were obviously unhappy with it.
TVS will continue to broadcast until the end of next year, when the changeover comes into effect. It means that popular shows like TV Weekly, which is made in Southampton, could be lost to the ITV network. The station's flagship programme, Coast to Coast, has twice been voted the best regional news magazine in Britain, and the news operation has received heavy investment. But the station ran into problems 3 years ago, when it paid a high price for the American film company MTM. Its losses left TVS with large problems, and the then chairman, James Gatwood, resigned. But the new management backed its franchise bid with a new share issue and cash from 4 major investors. Tonight, the chairman, Rudolph Agnew, said, "We do not understand why the ITC has taken the view that it has of the application, and we will be seeking further clarification." From viewers, there were mixed reactions.
I reckon it's terrible, really. You've been on the air for so long, and I reckon it's disgusting, really.
I can't see why we're actually franchising off in the first place, because I think if people are going to have to bid £60 million for a franchise, then we're going to lose the quality of programmes at the end of the day.
Couldn't care less, really.
3 years ago, TVS shares stood at more than £4. Last night, they were at 28 pence. Today, after a brief rally, they sank further to 22. Instead of celebrating, many of the 800 TVS staff used champagne to commiserate. The company's directors have not so far given any interviews. Graham Bowd, Coast to Coast, Southampton.
So what will Meridian have to offer viewers in the south when they take over the licence in 1993? Guy Phillips went to their offices in London to find out.
Hello, Meridian Broadcasting. Celebrations for the staff of Meridian today, but from tomorrow, 15 months of hard work lies ahead as programme ideas are transferred from paper to the screen. The company's most radical plan is to create 3 separate news operations in the region. In Southampton, its headquarters, Newbury and Maidstone. These will be backed up by smaller studios in 7 towns across the south, plus 1 in London. The company will broadcast its Newbury operation from this complex in the town.
Locally, I have a high respect for the coast-to-coast programmes in Maidstone and Southampton. I hope we'll be producing an excellent 3rd regional news service for the Thames Valley. And in addition, I hope we'll be able to give the viewer a range of long-running regular series which they can expect at regular times, covering other areas besides news and current affairs.
Nationally, Meridian makes shows like Birds of a Feather and promises a network of entertainment with an emphasis on comedy. The style of presentation will obviously change, but that doesn't necessarily mean familiar faces will disappear.
People will be looking to a new station to deliver some change. The right time for that change will be in January '93. At the same time, I'm well aware that viewers will not want us to discard people and programme services that they really value. So part of my aim is to ensure that, where possible, there could be continuity between the TVS service that will exist in 1992 and the Meridian service that begins in 1993.
But there will be job losses. TVS currently employs 800 staff. Meridian, as a publisher broadcaster, plans to operate with less than half that number.
Clearly, there are good people working with TVS, and I hope we'll be working with many of them. At the same time, I expect we'll be working with many people who will become, or who will work with, independent production companies. And that's the exciting thing about the future, the growth of independent production in the next decade.
Meridian's first transmission to the region will begin at midnight on the 1st of January 1993. Guy Phillips, Coast to Coast.
Yeah, it all works.
Now, other news. And a